Making headlines, the president condemns the assassination attempt of the former president of the US, Donald Trump. The Commissioner of Police affirms that transportation facilities gifted by the government of Japan will assist in expanding police operations. And the Maldives and the UNDP enters an agreement pertaining to address the challenges encountered to import medicine to the Maldives.
Welcome to the English News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu condemns the assassination attempt of the former President of the United States, Donald Trump. In a post shared on social media, President Muizzu stated that violence has no place in politics and strongly condemned violence everywhere following the attack on the former president. He also expressed his best wishes to former President Trump, his family and others injured during the attack. Trump had just started his speech when the shots rang out. He grabbed his right ear with his right hand, then brought his hand down to look at it before dropping to his knees behind the podium before Secret Service agents covered him. The attack was the first shooting of a U.S. president or major party candidate since the 1981 attempted assassination of Republican President Ronald Reagan. Commissioner of Police Ali Shujao affirms that the transportation facilities gifted by the government of Japan will assist in expanding police operations. The remarks were made by the Commissioner during a ceremony held to gift the vehicles to the Maldives Police Service, MPS.
The Japanese government donated 54 police cars and 4 vans with a total of $4 million. Speaking at the ceremony, Commissioner Shujao underscored the critical importance of expanding operations and taking measures to ensure the safety and security of residents due to the increasing crime rate of the society. Shujao noted that action can be effectively taken with adequate resources and facilities, highlighting that the donation from Japan will greatly assist MPS to carry out operations efficiently. He affirmed that it has also drastically increased the capabilities of MPS to foster peace and harmony within the society. Meanwhile, Ambassador of Japan to the Maldives, Takeshi Midori, disclosed that Japan will provide MPS with additional resources such as metal detectors, lasers, passenger crafts, and a rubber boat in the near future. The Japanese government has been providing assistance to the Maldives in various sectors in terms of finance as well as resources. It has provided a financial assistance exceeding over $6 million to develop and enhance the maritime safety and security and works related to natural disaster prevention, while also providing transportation facilities to various sectors.
The Maldives and the UNDP enters an agreement pertaining to address the challenges encountered to import medicine to the Maldives.
In addition to the challenges faced to import medical drugs to the Greater Malay region, several residents have voiced their concerns over the difficulties they face in collecting medicine in various islands as well. The concern was raised by some shareholders during the annual general meeting of the State Trading Organization (STO). In response to these concerns, Managing Director Shimat Ibrahim stated that efforts have been initiated in collaboration with the Maldives Food and Drug Authority to resolve the issue. The Managing Director affirmed that Ministry of Finance and UNDP have signed an agreement to solve the problem of importing medicines to the Maldives. Shimat stated that under the bulk procurement, UNDP will provide the medicines and collect them in Copenhagen, Denmark, and send them to their respective destinations, including the Maldives. He further added that these medicines will be entered to the Asanda portal, stating that it will serve as a major convenience for all. Asanda Company Limited, the Universal Health Insurance Scheme of the Maldives, has revealed that 65% of the company's budget is spent on attaining medicine, constituting the majority of the company's expenses. Over 14,000 brands have been listed currently in the medicines list of the nation.
The Ministry of Finance asks councils to prepare and submit their medium-term budgets. In a circular published by the Ministry, the councils have been asked to share information on their medium-term budgets for the years 2025 to 2027 by September 19th. The Finance Ministry is required under the State Finance Act to prepare the annual budget of the state and submit to the Parliament 2 months prior to the start of the fiscal year in which the budget is being formulated. The Finance Ministry said that the Council should prepare and submit medium-term budgets in accordance with the rules for determining grants, preparing Council budget and implementing budgets. The circular highlights that the Council should be aware of the income and expenditure of the funds separately when preparing the budget. The circular noted that the state block grant to councils should be budgeted in such a way that it does not exceed the amounts proposed for block grants to councils in the year's medium-term budget and next year's fiscal strategy. These figures will be reviewed in next year's medium-term budget. The councils will be finalizing the budget after the approval of next year's medium-term budget in accordance with the Decentralization Act. Minister for Climate Change, Environment and Energy Tariq Ibrahim announces that the installation and testing of waste management facilities in 22 islands is currently underway. He made the statement during a press conference to discuss the Environment Ministry's recent activities.
Speaking at the conference, Minister Tariq highlighted the progress of the government's National Waste Management Initiative, emphasizing that the primary goal is to establish waste management facilities at the island level. He said facilities are being set up in 51 islands at various stages of completion. He also said that the project involves the separation and compaction of waste as well as providing the necessary equipment for waste disposal on the islands. Additionally, Minister Tariq said that contractors have been assigned to develop infrastructure on additional islands, with a recent contract awarded to 14 more islands, of which work has already begun in 10. He said facilities required for 15 more islands have arrived in Mala City and are undergoing inspection before being dispatched to their respective locations. He said that these facilities are expected to be established within the next month, along with training for the employees. Furthermore, Mr. Tariq said that household waste collection and management vehicles have been distributed to 76 islands so far. He said that the ministry is focusing on training individuals involved in waste management. As such, he said that 20 individuals from 10 islands will be sent abroad for further training as part of the project supported by the World Bank.
Leo Trading Private Limited collaborates with the Ministry of Higher Education, Labour and Skills Development, the Maldives National Skills Development Authority, MNSDA, and the Maldives Polytechnic to launch a youth apprenticeship program aimed at empowering young individuals.
Officials from MNSDA and Maldives Polytechnic visited Leo Trading's work sites in Tilafushi and Industrial Island to evaluate the opportunities available for Maldivians. Previously, representatives from MNSDA, the Maldives Polytechnic and the Higher Education Ministry had visited to assess the sites and held a meeting to discuss potential areas of support. The meeting was attended by Minister of State for Higher Education, Employment and Skills Development Ahmad Shafi, Deputy Minister Zushan Kamaluddin, and CEO of MNSDA Dr. Zahra Mohammed. Representing Leo Trading were Managing Director Abdullah Sawad, General Manager Mifzal Mohammed, and Chief Commercial Officer Imjad Jalil. During the meeting, State Minister Shafi highlighted the opportunities Leo Trading offers to prepare and equip youth for the job market. The discussions included the possibility of paid work at Leo Trading's Tilafushi sites as part of the National Apprenticeship Program. They also talked about training employees to work at the country's largest industrial workshop in Tilafushi. They also expressed a strong interest in collaborating to provide more opportunities for the youth in the Maldives.
Parliamentarian Abdullah Rifau says reducing the time frame to achieve university status from 20 years to 15 years will not lessen the quality of the education provided by the universities.
Speaking on a program of PSMNEWS, Rifau noted that the amendment bill to transition colleges to university status after 15 years of service was proposed because the colleges in the Maldives has the quality to operate as universities. The proposal submitted includes amendments to the Maldives Higher Education Act and aims to expand higher education opportunities within the nation. The current Higher Education Act stipulates that the college must operate for 20 years of uninterrupted service to be considered for university status. The proposed amendment seeks to shorten the period to 15 years. Highlighting that the private universities are operated professionally in high quality in foreign countries as well, Rifau noted that most of the colleges in the Maldives has the qualifications to operate as universities. As such, he emphasized that the colleges in the Maldives have been providing education at the same level as universities and noted that the proposed amendments emphasizes on maintaining the quality of education provided. He noted that the quality and age of many of the colleges currently operating in the country was considered before proposing the amendments. Reiterating that the education provided by the colleges is of high level, Rifau noted the work of Maldives Qualification Authority to uphold the quality of education provided. Rifau stated that the amendment will make the requirements to become a university more clear.
Managing Director of the State Trading Organization STO, Shimad Ibrahim, states that converting the state-owned company to a carbon-neutral company by 2050 is an objective. Several efforts have been exerted aiming to achieve the overarching goal. As such, STO revealed that it has decided to conduct business activities and operations utilizing eco-friendly strategies. Speaking at the annual general meeting, AGM held in the Niri Lounge of the Novilo Seaplane Terminal at Velana International Airport, VIA, Managing Director Shimad affirmed that this is a realistic and an achievable goal. He added that STO will comply with the policies of corporate governance. Shimad disclosed plans to reduce the poisonous gases which are released during operations by 25%. Highlighting the ongoing efforts to convert STO into a carbon-neutral company, Shimad stated that efforts are underway to ensure that the transports utilized in the company's operations align with the guidelines of the International Maritime Organization, IMO. Additionally, he underlined the current works being done to ensure home improvement goods such as the air conditioners and refrigerators sold by the company fit into the standards set by the Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy. STO revealed that the majority of the products fit into the Hakatari standards. Hakatari program was initiated by the ministry to ensure that the electrical appliances were quality products of the same standard. Managing Director of the State Trading Organization STO, Shimad Ibrahim, says the Board of Directors decided to halt the development of the flour factory project due to profitability concerns. The decision was disclosed during the company's annual general meeting, AGM, in response to a shareholders' inquiry about the company's expansion into new businesses and the status of the flour factory construction. In response, Shimad said that the recent feasibility study indicated the project would not be profitable. He also said that the updated analysis showed that the costs had increased since the initial feasibility study, making the project less viable. Additionally, Shimad said that STO is preparing to launch a bunkering service in August as part of its efforts to diversify. He noted that the term sheet signed in March projected the service to start within 6 months by September, but they are aiming for launch in August. Housing Development Corporation Limited HDC changes the policies to allow more than one bid per person to buy land from Tilafushi for industrial purposes. The policies previously mandated that only one bid per person could be submitted to buy land from Tilafushi. HDC opened the bid process to buy land from Tilafushi in May, following the completion of the reclamation work of the second phase of Tilafushi in February 2024. The bid process was open for Maldivians only. Changes brought to the policies by HDC stipulates that each bid must be at least $1 higher than the highest bid proposed at that time. As such, an option of 15 plus would be seen on the screen when submitting the new bid, which will add the amount to make the new bid higher than the highest bid price at the time. The bids may also be submitted by adding any amount of the bidder's choice above $1 to the highest bid price at the time using the numbering box. HDC notes that the policies were changed to give the bidders more opportunity to increase their chances of winning the bid. HDC has opened the bid process for 3 sizes of land for various commercial purposes. As such, the company opened the bid process to sell 108 plots of land in 2 phases. The first phase requires expression of interest in the land, after which if more than one party has expressed interest in the same land, the land will be sold through tender. The minimum bid price is $110 per acre. The corporation opened the opportunity to buy land for various commercial and industrial purposes to provide more opportunities for the local business owners of Malé City to conduct business activities permanently. HDC has also started the process of restructuring the rents of the land rented from Tilafushi. Wall Street closes higher with the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average hitting record highs on bets that the U.S. Federal Reserve will cut interest rates on September, while big banks fell after reporting mixed results.
Wall Street's main indexes closed higher on Friday on bets that the U.S. Federal Reserve will cut interest rates in September. The Dow added about 0.6%, the S&P 500 added 0.5%, and the Nasdaq climbed over 0.6. Data out Friday showing producer prices were slightly hotter than expected in June did little to change bets that a Fed rate cut would come in September. The report came a day after data showed a surprise fall in U.S. consumer prices. J.D. Hatfield, CEO and CIO of Infrastructure Capital Advisors, said the economy has cooled enough for the central bank to start cutting rates this month, but that it won't due to what he called an overly rigid inflation goal.
They treat 2% as if it was chiseled on a tablet and descended from the heavens, when actually there's evidence that's too low. And they only look at PCE core versus a broader range of indices. The economy is weakening, so they're taking a risk with the economy. I think we're going to be fine, but they should cut in July, but they definitely will cut in September.
Friday marked the start of earnings season, with J.P. Morgan Chase beating second quarter profit expectations. But shares of the world's largest bank dipped more than 1%. Wells Fargo tumbled 6% after the lender missed estimates for quarterly interest income, while Citigroup fell nearly 2% despite reporting a surge in investment banking revenue. Some of the market's most valuable companies bounced back after dipping in the previous session, with Apple and Nvidia each gaining more than 1%. And after lagging the S&P 500 this year, the small-cap Russell 2000 index rallied for a third straight day, gaining 1.1% and reaching its highest level since 2022, while the S&P 400 mid-cap index rose nearly 1%.
Donald Trump was shot in the ear during a campaign rally after a major security lapse, an attack that will likely reshape this year's presidential race and fuel fears that the campaign could descend into the political violence. In the moments after the shooting, Trump was swarmed and covered up by his security agents. The Trump campaign leader said he was doing well. The FBI identified 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania as the subject involved in what it termed an attempted assassination in a statement early on Sunday. He was a registered Republican according to state voter records. Earlier, the Secret Service said in a statement that the shooter was dead, one attendee at the rally was killed, and 2 other spectators were injured. Law enforcement officials told reporters they have not yet identified a motive for the attack. Trump had just started his speech when the shots rang out. He grabbed his right ear with his right hand, then brought his hand out to look at it before dropping to his knees behind the podium before Secret Service agents covered him. He emerged about a minute later, his red "Make America Great Again" hat knocked off and could be heard saying "wait" before pumping his fist in the air. Agents then rushed back to a black SUV. He left the Butler area under the protection of the U.S. Secret Service with the assistance of the Pennsylvania State Police and later arrived at his golf resort and residence in Bedminster, New Jersey. The shooting occurred less than 4 months before the November 5th election, when Trump, the Republican candidate, faces an election rematch with Democratic President Joe Biden. Trump is due to receive his party's formal nomination at the Republican National Convention, which kicks off in Milwaukee on Monday. The shooting raised immediate questions about security failures by the Secret Service, which provides former presidents, including Trump, with lifetime protection. It was the first shooting of a U.S. president or major party candidate since the 1981 attempted assassination of Republican President Ronald Reagan. Leading Republicans and Democrats quickly condemned the violence. The shots appear to come from outside the area secured by the Secret Service, the agency said. The FBI said it had taken the lead in investigating the attack. An inspired Barbora Krejcikova etches her name onto Wimbledon's famed honours board alongside her late mentor, Nowotna after the Czech survived a fight back from Paolini to seal a victory in the final. The 2021 French Open champion added the Venus Rosewater dish to her Bulchin Trophy cabinet that also includes 12 Grand Slam doubles prizes besides an Olympic doubles gold medal from the Tokyo Games 3 years ago. Moments after her triumph, Krejcikova was reflected on a chat that she had as a junior with her idol, Nowotna, who lifted the Wimbledon title 26 years ago and tragically died in 2017 following a battle with ovarian cancer, aged 49. Nowotna had captured the hearts of fans when she famously sobbed on the shoulders of the Duchess of Kent during the 1993 presentation ceremony after being beaten by Steffi Graf. On Saturday, it was Krejcikova who broke down in tears when she was shown her idol's name on the honours board at the All England Club. In a final between two players whose styles are more suited to the slow clay courts of the Roland Garros rather than slick grass at the All England Club, Krejcikova began in a menacing mood with some heavy hitting to dictate play. She raced through the opening set on a sunlit centre court before the crowd roared on French Open runner Paolini coaxed her into action. The ever-smiling Italian obliged and levelled the contest in her usual rollicking fashion, but Krejcikova quickly wrestled back the advantage after breaking serve at 3-3 thanks to a double fault and pulled away. Serving for the title at 5-4, Krejcikova endured a nervy spell as she wasted 2 match points before saving 2 break points to seal victory at the third time of asking, a result that even left her stunned. Victory was all the more special for Krejcikova, who had a losing record heading into Wimbledon. In fact, she had only won 7 matches all season when she arrived in London due to a back injury and illness. Her 7-9 win-loss record in 2024 was nothing to shout about. She doubled that match win tally with her run to the title at the Grass Court Major. She also became the 8th different women's champion in as many editions. OpenAI whistleblowers files a complaint with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission calling for an investigation over the intelligence company's allegedly restrictive non-disclosure agreements. According to the letter, which was provided to Reuters by the office of Senator Chuck Grassley, given the well-documented potential risks posed by the irresponsible deployment of AI, the commissioners are requested to immediately approve an investigation into OpenAI's prior NDAs and to review current efforts to apparently being undertaken by the company to ensure full compliance with SEC rules. The AI company allegedly made employees sign agreements that required them to waive their federal rights to whistleblower compensation, according to the letter. The whistleblowers requested the SEC to fine OpenAI for each improper agreement made to the extent the agency deemed appropriate. An SEC spokesperson said in an emailed statement that it does not comment on the existence or non-existence of a possible whistleblower submission. OpenAI did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the letter. The news was first reported by the Washington Post. The whistleblowers alleged that OpenAI issued overly restrictive employment, severance, and non-disclosure agreements to its employees, which could have led to penalties against workers who raised concerns about OpenAI to federal authorities. The letter also says OpenAI required employees get prior consent from the company if they wanted to disclose information to federal regulators, adding that OpenAI did not create exemptions in the employee non-disparagement clauses for disclosing security violations to the SEC. The letter also asked the SEC to require OpenAI to produce every contract that contained a non-disclosure agreement, including employment agreements, severance agreements, and investor agreements for inspection. OpenAI's chatbots with generative AI capabilities, such as engaging in human-like conversations and creating images based on text prompts, have stirred safety concerns as AI models become powerful. OpenAI in May formed a safety and security committee that will be led by board members including CEO Sam Altman as it begins training its next artificial intelligence model. That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.